Hey friend, it is Kate here. Thanks so much for joining me today. I've got another lovely live Pilates class for us. I had a request this week to use a set of weights, so I do have those with me. You know, if you've taken class with me before, you don't have to have them to get a good workout. I also have a resistance loop. If you have a resistance band, you can always tighten it out and make it kind of a small little loop to use, or you can just skip it and you'll still be able to do everything without it. You just won't get quite the booty workout on the side without, but that's always okay. Anyway, if you're new here, my name is Kate. I do weekly live classes here on Thursdays, and I also upload always on Mondays another video, and then sometimes sporadically throughout the week, depending on my mood. Anywho, it is the first thing that I'm doing today, so I feel a little stiff in my body. I was actually a little slow to get going. I'm still drinking my coffee because coffee makes everything better. So if you need your coffee around, know that I do too. But we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, and I totally forgot to put my hair up. I told you it was a slow morning. We'll start standing near the top of our mat. You can face whatever direction you want to. Before we go anywhere, think about lifting your ears up a little higher, wrapping your tummy in. Envision that you're trying to lift up and out of your waist and broaden across the chest. Let's just wake up our shoulders a little bit by making big, deep circles. Try to take those in the biggest, deepest fashion you can. I will admit to you guys, on Wednesdays, I usually do a lot of aerial training on hammocks and slings and all that fun stuff, and so my upper body's usually sore on Thursday mornings. Take it in the other direction. So little circles like this always feel good when I'm feeling quite stiff through my upper body. Now let's bring it into our elbows. Circle our elbows backwards a couple of times. It's like you're making dinner plate size circles with your elbows. And then opposite direction, around and over, around and over. And then finally from here, let's just lift our fingertips high over our head. Rotate the pinkies towards one another. Grow an inch or two taller. Almost imagine you're a little kid dangling from some monkey bars. Your spine is stretched so long. Take a big inhale. Flip the palms, press them down by your sides. Dip your chin to your chest. Let's wake up our neck a little bit and simply roll your head from the right down to center over to the left. And maybe it feels nice to kind of pause and stay in one spot. You might prefer to move a little slower or a little faster than I am. You should always go at your own pace. Don't feel like you have to keep up 100% with me or stay somewhere as long as I do if that is simply not calling to your body. Now eventually bring your chin back down to chest and pause. Let the chin dangle. You might feel like you're giving yourself a double chin, but I want you to think about lifting the very back of your head up to the sky, opening up the top of our neck. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, bend your knees. Start to fold from the sternum, rolling one vertebra at a time all the way down to the ground. Look through your legs and find your deepest forward fold. And you might look a little different than me. That's a-okay. But did you allow your shoulders to rise up to your ears? Can you soften them down the back? Can you nod the head yes? Shake it no. And then pause, pull the navel in, and slowly roll all the way up to standing. And both my hips just popped as I did that. Tuck your chin to your chest again, bend the knees, roll down. Find the base of your forward fold again. Keep that soft, easy bend in the knees this time. Nod the head yes. Shake it no. Maybe push the hips side to side. Arrive center and slowly roll all the way up to standing. One more time, just like that. Chin to chest, bend the knees. All the way down we go. Maybe this time you grab your elbows and ragdoll a little. Does it feel nice to push your elbows right and left? Maybe kind of swivel them around like a figure eight. all the while looking through the legs. If you're looking down at the ground, you're probably craning your neck, and we can soften the back of our neck. We can let that go. Eventually pause center, release your fingertips, dangle, and slowly roll all the way up to standing. Now again, let's just stand tall and straight. Notice how we feel from even just a small bit of movement. Really open up across the chest. Try to lift up and out of the waist. Take a big inhale. Maybe this time your gaze goes up to the sky. Let's bring our hands behind our head, elbows wide. Push the elbows back. Put a soft bend in your knees. Now, this is not a yoga chair pose where we kind of pitch forward. Instead, think of it more like a plie in our ballet class or our bar class, with our shoulders staying over our hips. Can you keep your hips and knees still? Take a big inhale and take a little twist to your right. Inhale, look forward. A little twist to your left. Again, look forward, take that twist back and forth. Now notice if you're letting your hips kind of bump with you, the more you can keep them still, the more we'll feel that twist through the center of our body, rather than getting down in that lower section. Eventually stand tall and straight, pause. I'm going to turn to face you. You can keep facing your first direction. Push the elbows wide, cinch your waist, lift out of your body, and then take a small stretch over from one side and then over to the other side. It doesn't have to be the deepest lateral stretch you've ever done. As we're taking this lateral stretch side to side, though, I want you to think about fanning open the ribs. It's like your little rib cage is just opening up and pulling itself back. Opening up and pulling itself back. Last time. Come on back, pause. Let the hands dangle. Once more, stand tall and straight. Let's wake our hips up a little bit. I want you to swivel your knees around. Just pick up the knees and circle them. I know this is such a simple and thing that I do all the time if you take a lot of classes with me, but I do this in my hips all the time. My hips need a lot of attention, and so making sure that I'm just giving them lots of range of motion always feels much better than letting them be still and stiff. Now go the opposite direction, out to in. Out to in. Move it just like that. And if you fall over, well, know that I have too. It's a-okay. And then let's go ahead and take a nice wide stance. All 10 toes are pointing forward right now. Take your hands high, shine your heart up to the sky. Exhale, flip the palms, tuck your chin to your chest again, bend your knees and start to find a forward fold here with our legs nice and wide. Once more, look through the legs, nod the head yes. Shake it no, and start to sway your hips a little right and left. And I'm just pushing my hips from one side to the other, straightening the leg as I go. If your leg does not fully straighten, that is a-okay. Again though, are you looking down at the ground or are you looking through your legs so we can soften the neck? Pause center, push down into your feet, roll all the way up to standing. Another big inhale, hands lift high. Exhale, turn your toes away from one another. Again, dip your chin to your chest, bend the knees off to the side this time. And again, arrive in your forward fold. Nod the head yes. Shake it no. Push the hips a little side to side. Now come back center. You can keep them turned out or you can turn your toes back to parallel and roll up, however feels better, and your hips is a-okay with me. All right, friends, we are going to grab our weights if we've got them. If we don't have them, that's a-okay. Keep a wide stance. Now, I want you to think about pulling your inner thighs towards one another, lifting out of your waist, cinching the belly like you have a belt on and it got tighter. Remember, it's not about sucking in, it's just activating the entire core, which includes our back body muscles, not just those front tummy ones. Now I want you to tuck your elbows into your sides, roll your shoulders back, lift a little higher out of your head. From here, put a soft bend in your knees. Not the deepest plie we can possibly do, just a little bend right here. If that feels unpleasant, you can keep your legs straight. But that feeling of your inner thighs working towards one another, I want that to happen here. It's like I'm trying to pull my inner thighs or my heels back together. Now 5 times, all I want us to do is reach our right hand across our body to the left and pull it right back in. Twist, punch your hand away, pull it right back in. 3 more, punch it away, pull it in. 2 more, twist, pull it in. Last one. And then other side. As you're twisting and reaching your hand across, really think about cinching the waist more, using your abdominal muscles to make that twist, that little kind of oblique crunch happen. There's no reason we have to be on our back all the time to do abdominal work. We can absolutely do it while we're standing. Last one to the left, back to the right, twist and punch, pull it in, twist and punch, pull it in. For 3 and 2, last one, other direction, for 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement with our legs. As you punch and twist, straighten the legs, bend both knees. Straighten, twist, and bend. For 3 and 2, last one, other side. If it's too much to straighten and bend the knees, you could of course just keep them bent in that nice wide second plie. You could also do this from a seat, and you could just as easily take these oblique twists. Last one, back to the right, punch and twist, 5 and 4, 3 and 2, 1, other side, 5 and 4, 3 and 2, 1. One more set just like that. Twist, released. Cinch your waist, let it go. Squeeze the inner thighs together, drop it down. Last one, to the left, for 5 and 4, 3 and 2, last one, back to center. Now, if we need to set one weight down, we can. Otherwise, we're going to take both weights together and make a circle with our arms. This can be a lot on our upper body. No, you can set them down, that's okay, but otherwise, take your arms out in front of you. Shoulders back, head high, cinch your waist. Keep your legs still. Take a big inhale, twist to your right. Inhale, look forward, twist to the opposite direction. Look forward. Go ahead and take that twist side to side at your own pace. See if you can keep your elbows lifted high. Instead, really use the center of your body to help facilitate this twist. Beautiful. Twist as you exhale, inhale, release. Twist as you exhale, inhale, release. One more set to each side. You got this. And then come back center, pause. Let the weights go back to each individual hand if you move them. We can keep our toes pointed away from one another or come to parallel for this, whichever works better. But again, we're going to do our little punch and twist. We're just going to add a swivel with our knee. And by that I mean I'm going to bend. And as I straighten, I'm going to turn my knee across and come back down. You can do this from a parallel line. If you'd prefer, it feels better in my hips and my ankles to stay turned out. But I'm going to twist to one side, drop it down, twist and reach other side, drop it down. Twist, pull it back, twist, pull it back. You got it. Just take that easy little bend and straighten, pushing your weights or your hands away from one another. If you don't have weights in your hands, I like to imagine that there is a whole pool around me, lots of water, and it's like I'm swimming and pushing through the water. Let's do 2 more to each side. Last set. Last one. Come back to center. Now before we go away from here, take your hands out nice and wide. Put a soft bend in your elbows, roll the shoulders back, lift your ears high, take a big, deep breath. Exhale, pull the weights together. Inhale, slide them open. Exhale, pull the weights together. Inhale, slide them open. 3 more. Exhale, pull it in and release. 2 more. Exhale, pull it in and release. 3 more. 2. Last one. Open out, pause. Sit a little deeper. Make a diamond over your head. Push the elbows nice and far. Drop your elbows and your hands in front of you like there's a table right in front of your chest on a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift up. 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, touch the weights together or your hands, pull the elbows towards one another and send your elbows back. It's like I'm hugging my elbows to my sides. Notice if you're arching your back, no Beyonce booty moment here. Pull the navel and lift out of your waist 5 times. Straighten the arms overhead, drop them down. Exhale, push the arms up, drop them down. 3 more, up and down. 2 more, up and down. Last one, up, pause. Take a big breath. Let it go. Let's set our weights off to the side. Stand up tall and straight. Belly button in, shoulders back. Big inhale, hands lift high. Exhale, flip the palms, push them down. Now we've already done a lot of upper body. We're starting to wake up our lower body. If you have a lovely loop, we're going to step inside. If we don't have our loop today, that's okay. You can pretend and just again think about moving through water, or like I said, if you've got a long TheraBand, you can tie it in a knot and bring it down around our legs. It's about halfway between my ankles and my knees. Now hands can be on our hips or off to the side if that helps us balance more, whatever feels better for your body. Put a soft bend in the knees, and again, this is more of that little plie where our shoulders are still above our hips. I am not leaning forward. I want you to rock your weight over into your left foot and just pick up your left. As you pick up your foot, squeeze the thut, your thigh-butt connection point on both sides. Lift out of the waist a little bit more. Just hold right there, pushing the band or your invisible band away. Now bend both knees, take a step on the floor, stand tall, and try and balance on the other side. We might notice one side feels much easier to balance than the other. That's okay, everybody's a little different, but just start to rock side to side. Now every time you stand up, imagine I'm holding your ear and I'm pulling it up to the sky so that side of your body stays long, active. Each time I stand tall and straight, I almost push down into an imaginary table if my arms are nice and long. If they're at your hips, that's okay too. Now the next time that you pick up your right leg, let's keep it there. Pick up the right leg and pause. Tone the tummy, cinch the waist in, grow a little taller out of your waist. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, try to push your toe away, bring it in. Exhale, push your toe away, bring it in. Exhale, away and in, away and in. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Drop the foot down. Shake it out if you need to. Rock over to the other side. Lift up tall and straight again. Open up across the chest. Lift your ears a little higher. Take a big breath. Exhale, push it away, bring it back. Exhale, push it away, bring it back. For 3 and 2. Last one. Drop it down. Again, I give you permission to take a break, to shake it out. You're doing great. Over to our right side, or I guess we're lifting up our right leg. We're standing on our left, or vice versa, because we're going to do both sides. Hold here for a moment. Try to externally rotate the leg. When I do that, I point my toes away. I point my heel to my body. I'm still lifting out of my waist. Push your toe away, bring the heel down. Push the toe away, bring the heel down. For 3 and 2, last one. Turn the toes forward, set that foot down, pick up your opposite foot, stand tall, stand straight, you got this. Externally rotate, take a big inhale, push the toe away, bring it back. Push the toe away, bring it back. For 3 and 2, last one. Drop the foot, let it go, shake it out. Now we're gonna awkwardly keep the band on if we have it and come to a seat. If you don't have the band, it's okay. But we're gonna have that band around our shins, just like we did a moment ago, and come to a seat. Take your hands behind your thighs, roll the shoulders back, lift out of the waist. Now, while we're here, I want you to think about almost trying to rip the band apart without letting your knees externally rotate. They're staying parallel. Shoulders back, head high, take a breath. Tip off your sitting bones, rock down into a Pilates C curve, and then roll yourself up to standing. Tip off, rock back, tuck the chin to the chest, roll all the way up. Tip back, rock down, pause, pull yourself up. Last time, find your Pilates C curve and hold. Take your fingertips away. Now friends, I know Pilates C curve is challenging for some of us out there. It's a big pose. Sometimes having the band around my legs can be a little helpful. It keeps my lower body a little bit more engaged. If you want to, envision that there is a present in between your hands. Give your present a big squeeze. So we're activating our arms just as much as our legs. Your pubic bone, I want you to think about pulling up to the belly button. So we're really turning on those deep, low tummy muscles. Lift your present up over your eyesight. Exhale, pull it down in front of your face. Inhale, lift your present up over your eyesight. Exhale, cinch the waist, pull it down. 3 more, inhale up. Exhale down. 2 more, inhale up. Exhale down. Last one up. Pull it down, pause, take a breath, roll all the way up to a seat. If you need a moment to relax, to let the band go, it's okay. If you want to just separate or let it off your legs anyway, that's totally fine by me. Once more, hands out in front of you. Sit tall, sit straight, tip off your sitting bones and hold. Now hands can come behind the thighs if we need a little support, or we can keep them out in front of us. But from here, I want you to stomp into your left foot. Take a big inhale. Can you pick up your right leg? Set it down. Now do you see, now pick up the left leg, opposite leg. We're gonna go back and forth. I'm trying to keep the band kind of in place. I'm really thinking about almost lifting my thigh up and my shin becomes parallel to the floor. Exhale, pick it up. Drop it down. Exhale, pick it up. Drop it down. Take it at your own pace. You might go a little faster or a little slower than I am. Friends, if you have a ball at home, one of our lovely stability balls, for those of us that find this position challenging, it can be awesome to do it with a ball behind your lower back for a little more support. You can also do your Pilates C-curve work seated in a chair. In fact, that's one of my favorite things to have my friends who are sitting at an office desk do when they know they need to turn their tummy muscles on. If you just lean back into your Pilates C-curve, do a couple of reps of lifting your legs up like I am now. We're trying to open and close the arms. That can be such a nice way just to get those tummy muscles turned on, and then sit back up tall and straight. Set both feet back onto the floor, roll yourself up to a seat. We'll take the band off our legs. Find an easy seat, whatever works for your body. Shoulders back, ears high. Take a big inhale, lift the hands up. Let's take a twist to the right. Right hand goes back, left hand goes forward. Reach the fingers further away. Almost point your nose back behind you. Unravel both hands high. Take your twist in the opposite direction. Unravel both hands, lift. Take them behind your head. Poke the elbows wide. Take a small lateral side stretch to your right. Cinch your waist as you come up using your tummy muscles. Take your stretch over to the left. Pull yourself up. Reach the hands high, flip the palms, push them down. If you need a sip of your coffee like I do, take it. Or your water, because that's probably better for you. Feet out in front of us again. Now, hands behind the thighs or out to the wall away from you, whatever makes you feel better. We're going to lower all the way down to the ground. Now, I start by tipping off my sitting bones, pulling the pubic bone up to the belly button. And I'm now trying to reach my sacrum, that big bony plate at the base of my spine, to the mat first. Each little vertebra follows. You might need to walk your feet in to make that a little more smooth. But slowly plant the feet on the floor, take your hands high overhead, and find a great big stretch. Again, this is the first time I'm moving today. My spine just cracked a lot as I rolled down. Not sure if you can hear that through the mic or not, but obviously know that pops are normal when we're waking up our body. Take the fingertips straight up to the sky, flip the palms. Again, you're holding a great big heavy present. Feel your shoulders connect to the ground beneath you. Walk the feet in, inhale, lift up into your bridge. Now cinch the waist. Squeeze your thud with all your might. Push your entire pelvis up to the sky. Take a big inhale. One vertebra at a time, roll all the way down to the mat. Let your hips soften into the floor, and then tip the pelvis, roll all the way back up to a nice tall bridge pose. Take a full big inhale. Roll one vertebra at a time all the way down to the ground. Let the hips connect. Tip the pelvis, roll all the way back up. Shoulders down, nose high. Slowly lower to the ground. One more time, lift up and pause. Shoulders down the back, nose lifts to the sky. Squeeze your thigh, push the hips higher. You got this, my friend. Come all the way down to the ground. From here, flip the palms so they're facing towards your knees. If we need to take one hand or both hands behind the head, that's okay. We're going to lift our head and chest. Curl the head and chest up, reach your fingertips past you. Again, if we need that hand to support our neck, there's nothing wrong with that, but extend your fingertips towards the edge of the opposite side of your mat. It's like I am standing at the back of your mat, holding your wrist, pulling you up. Your tummy is resisting the urge to pooch up, and instead, the belly button is pulling down. Take a big, deep inhale. Exhale, pick up your right leg. Set it on the ground. Exhale, pick up the left leg. Set it on the ground. Take that easy lift and lower. Exhale up, drop it down. Exhale up, drop it down. 3 more sets to each side. You can smile. You know you love doing our little walking leg lifts. Last set. Last one. Both feet on the floor. Lower your head and chest down. Take your hands over your head. If it feels nice to arch the back and take a stretch, I'm okay with you doing that currently, or you can immediately imprint the spine and enjoy that. If we have our weights, we'll grab them. If we do not, it's okay. But we're still going to lay on the ground. Take your weights and rest them on the top of your hips. Now my hands are there just supporting them so they don't like roll off my body, but I'm really not trying to hold onto them. I'm just giving my hips a little extra weight. Push down into the feet, roll up and pause. Shoulders down, space between chin and chest. If you've taken a lot of Pilates classes with me, or a lot of classes in general, you probably know when I lift up into a bridge, 90% of the time I'm definitely doing a Pilates bridge and not a yoga bridge. Every so often though, I do see some friends really trying to stick their sternum up to the sky, arching the back more. That's more of a yoga kind of bridge, more about opening up the chest. There's nothing wrong with it. I like doing those, but not when we're doing strength building. Instead, keep the chest open, space between chin and chest. Push into your heels, try to pick up the pelvis a little bit more. And then 5 times we're going to lower halfway down to the mat. Exhale, push all the way up. Inhale, halfway down to the mat. Exhale, push all the way up. 3 more, little down. Exhale, little up. 2 more, little down. Exhale all the way up. Last one, little down. Lift up and pause. Tone your tummy a little more. Shoulders down, nose high. See if you can pick up both heels. It's like stilettos just grew out of your feet, and then push them down. Lift the heels up high. Push them down. 3 more, try to pick up the heels. Drop it down. 2 more, cinch the waist, lift. Bring it down. Last one, lift the heels, pause. Almost pull the inner thighs towards one another. Are you still lifting your whole pelvis as high as you can? Are your shoulders down the back? If we need to lower completely to the mat to give ourselves a break, that's okay. But otherwise, again, roll halfway down, lift all the way up. I'm trying to keep my heels lifted as high as I possibly can. Inhale down, exhale lift. Inhale down, exhale lift. 3 more. And 2. Last one, lift, pause, take a big breath. Can you grab hold of the weights? Can you punch them to the sky? You can actually touch them together if you want to. Roll your hips to the ground. Feel your low back connect. Toes can stay pointed if you want to, or you can drop the heels back down, that's okay. Take a big deep breath, squeeze the inner thighs together, pick up both legs. If there's some space between them, I'm okay with that. If you can totally close them in, that's awesome too. Shoulders are going to stay connected to the ground. Open up your hands, push them down to your hips, swim them back up to the sky, touch. Push them down to your hips, swim them up to the sky, touch. Now, as we take the arms down and up, concentrate on keeping your legs still, continuing to pull the navel in. I know it's so easy to want to arch your back or to kind of send your belly button up to the sky, pooching the tummy, I suppose, but we're resisting that feeling. I'm sending the arms down, lifting them up, pushing the arms down, lifting them up. For 3 and 2, last one. Now, we're going to take the hands over the head, separate them to a little V, pull them back up. I almost feel like a little cheerleader when I do that little V pose. Back in high school, I was a cheerleader for a time. Not long though, not my thing. Especially when we're taking our hands over our head. It's easy now to splay the ribs, to let the ribs pop away from one another. I want you to draw them in. The minute it feels like you want them to separate, that's where we need to kick on those tummy muscles more. 3 more. And 2. Last one. Bring it back, pause. Touch your feet to the floor, touch your weights down to the ground. Reach your fingers overhead, heel toe your feet apart, knock the knees together and take a nice big sway or windshield wiper of your knees, however you want to think about it. Now again, if we've got, oh there it is, a loop, we're going to use it. If we don't have a loop, it's a-okay. See if you can wrap the loop around your foot and hold it there. For anyone who doesn't have a loop, we're just going to lift the leg up, and that's awesome too. If it's too much to lift your right leg, I have this in my right leg right now, it's okay. You can set the right leg on the floor. We're going to pick up our opposite leg. Now you can hold on with both hands to that loop, or if you have a yoga strap or a yoga band, you could do the same thing with your yoga strap or band. You could always pause the video if you need to find it. Basically, my right leg is going to stay still. If you're holding on with both arms, poke the elbows wide, shoulders down the back, point the nose to the sky. Before we go anywhere, are you turning your tummy muscles on? Can you almost pull the pubic bone up to the belly button here? And now try to lift your opposite foot up. You can flex the foot, you could point the toe, it could be soft. But 5 times, I want you to try to reach your foot away from your body. Exhale, pull it in. Reach the foot away from the body. Exhale, pull it in. 3 more, take it away, pull it back. 2 more, take it away, pull it back. Last one, away, bring it in, pause. Now, if this was challenging enough on its own, just repeat exactly like I did before. If we want to go up a little higher, you can extend the leg out, take a big inhale. Now kick the leg up to the sky, drop it down to the ground. If you have a bend in your knee, my friends, it's okay. And as I mentioned, if you don't have a band or if it's too much with the band up, you could do that with your opposite leg on the floor and just move your left leg. There's nothing wrong with that, friends. We can always modify for what our body needs today. Now, if you're holding on to your band like I am, have you allowed your shoulders to creep up to your ears or to pull away from the mat, soften them back down? Last time, lift the leg up, pause. Squeeze your inner thighs together, pull the navel in. Set your left foot on the floor. Let's take a little stretch if we can. If you've got the band, just guide the leg as close to your body as you can without curling the tail up or without having to curl your head and chest up. We want our spine to stay straight. If you'd rather hold behind the leg and just pull it in, that's awesome. If we don't have that range of motion, just lift the leg up. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, it does feel really nice to me to kind of circle around in my ball and socket joint. I give you permission to let your hips kind of hula dance as we do this one. It's okay. And then when you're ready, we'll bring our opposite foot in, opposite foot out. If you did the other side than I did, it's okay. So again, shoulders down, nose high. Flex the foot, push your heel to the sky. Start to turn your abdominal muscles on. Feel your low back connect, and then pick up your opposite foot. For me, that's my right. Again, you can point, you can flex, do what feels best for you today. Maybe try something different than the other side to notice if it changes anything. When you're ready, try and stretch the leg away, pull it in. And friends, if we only take the leg a little bit out, a little bit in, because that helps us keep our imprinted spine, our abdominal muscles working hard, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to look like me in every single exercise. Our bodies are different, our flexibility, our proportions, all these things make a huge difference in what exercises look like. 2 more. Last one. Now here comes the fun part. You can repeat, or you can straighten the leg, take a big inhale, exhale, kick the leg to the sky, drop it down. Exhale, kick the leg to the sky, drop it down. 3 more, up and down. 2 more, up and down. Last one, up, lift. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Set the foot on the floor. Take a stretch if you want to. Maybe find some movement. Maybe on this side, you're immediately ready to kind of move and wiggle in that ball and socket joint. Maybe you really want to pull the leg in. I'm happy if you're happy. When you feel comfortable, take the band off. Reach your hands overhead, give your fingers a wiggle, knock the knees together. Find a little swivel, a little wiggle, side to side. Heel toe the feet back towards one another. Pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a big hug, big squeeze. Take a little rock and roll on your spine. I'm not gonna lie, I love rocking and rolling on my back. It feels really good. I feel like some people think I'm crazy for doing that though. You don't have to do anything that you don't like, but I can roll like that for a while. Sit tall and straight, shoulders back, lift the ears high, swim your hands overhead. I'm gonna turn so you can see me a little bit better. I want you to drop your right hand down to the ground, lift the left hand high, and start to melt over. Now notice, did you just lift the hip up? We want to keep the hip connected. So again, you can focus on fanning open the ribs. Maybe look to the sky, and I want you to circle your hand around. We'll go both directions, so it doesn't really matter which way you start, but find some mobility in your shoulder. Now, opposite direction, up and overhead, down and around, up and overhead, down and around. One more time. Pull yourself up. Same thing, both hands lift. Left hand down, right hand high, or opposite direction. I'm okay if you've gone the wrong way than me, because half the time I'm on the wrong side too. I always love the comments when people are like, oh, I love that you say the wrong side all the time. I'm like, oh, I don't actually notice I do it that often, but thanks for pointing it out. But yeah, rights and lefts are hard, friends. Come on up. Both hands behind you, poke the elbows wide. Now roll the shoulders back, puff your heart and chest up. Does it feel like you're overly arching the back? Don't worry about your low back. In fact, knit the ribs in the lower portion of your body together, and instead think about your sternum lifting up to the sky. Take a big inhale. Look forward, let that go. If we want to, we're gonna come to a little tabletop. If our knees are feeling a little sad, you could grab a blanket, you could double up on your mat. We're not gonna be here too terribly long, but extend your right foot behind you, push the heel back so we get a nice big stretch to the back of our calf muscle there. Sometimes for me, it feels really good to push the floor away, to curl my body and really separate my shoulders behind. Pull your right leg in, same thing other side. Toe back, heel reaches to the floor. Find that lovely calf stretch, and then start to round. Tuck the tail, pull the chin to the chest, separate your shoulder blades. Pull it in. Let's do our right leg again, a little different though. Point your left toe behind you, reach your right hand high. Find that lovely stargazer pose. Again, for me, this is one of my favorites for my upper body because I like that feeling of circling my arm around while I'm getting a lateral stretch. It's a nice 2-for-1. Also, if you think about it, this is a bit of a balanced pose, so you're still doing abdominal work, friends. Not every ab exercise has to look like a crunch. I hope you know that if you've taken classes with me before. We're always working our core. Take your hand back down to the ground. Extend your left foot back. Point your right toe behind you. If you have props in the way, get them out of there. Hand lifts. You can wiggle. You can take it up. And then we can find those great big circles. Both directions. Come back to hands and knees. We're going to step into a small lunge. You can do that however you want to. This is not the deepest lunge. It's more about having a 90-degree angle in that front leg. If this feels uncomfortable for your knee, of course, you could be up in more of a standing lunge. I know not everyone likes to be down on their knees. That's a-okay. Lift out of the waist, push your right hand into the top of your right thigh as you lift the left hand up. I am holding your left wrist. I am pulling it to the sky, and now start to lean over to your right. When I'm in this position, it feels very nice in my hips to lean a little further forward. It's like my whole pelvis just moved 5 inches forward. Take a big inhale. If you have the range of motion, exhale, bring both hands around your foot. If you need blocks, this is an excellent place to grab blocks to give you some more range of motion. Now, I am always pushing down into the top of my foot, so I'm not hammering down on my kneecap. There's almost no pressure on my knee whatsoever, even though it's touching the floor. It's really mostly in the top of my foot and my opposite foot. A couple of times, you might hinge back, hinge forward. Now, again, this might be one of those that doesn't always work for everyone's body. It's okay if you want to skip it. When you're ready, bring both feet together, take your opposite foot out, find the beginning of your little lunge. Left hand to left thigh, right hand high. Press down to grow taller, start to stretch. Maybe we stay here, or again, you can take your pelvis a little further forward. When you're ready, forward fold around your front leg, and a couple of times, hips back, hips forward, hips back, hips forward. One more. And then bring both legs together. Maybe sink back into a child's pose. Knees can be together or apart. Let the head fall to the floor. Roll yourself up to a seat. As always, my friends, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank yourself for doing something so good and just for you. I am so excited to have you here. And I see I've got a couple of comments. I'm trying to read them, so sorry if I look a little silly. I wish you didn't have to go to work right now either, Rachel. Hopefully you get to do it a little bit later. Oh no! June, that's okay. You can join in whenever you need to. I know sometimes technology is supposed to be so much easier and then it's not. I can't tell you the number of times I've messed things up on here. In fact, it just occurred to me because, funny story, I feel like my live classes are slowly getting better because I can't practice them, or I thought I couldn't practice them without going live, and I didn't want a bunch of like small little live classes that I have to continuously cancel. But it just occurred to me that I think when I go live, I can actually set it to private so no one else sees. So now I think I can actually practice. So yeah, technology is hard some days. I am right there with you. Anyway, friends, usually I'd stay on and try and answer a couple of questions for anyone that's still here, but I actually have a private student I have to go jump online and be with, which actually brings up something. I realized today I don't think I've talked about it too much in here, but if you're ever interested in private classes, I actually do a lot of private classes, both in person and online. I know a lot of my students are all over the world. The kind of nice thing about the pandemic is it did bring up to me that I can work with students all over the place because the internet is a wonderful thing. If you're ever interested in doing a one-on-one session, maybe just to get some clarity on a few of the usual moves we do. I know sometimes our bodies, our proportions make certain things a little bit more challenging than we want them to be or they could be in our body. So just know that you can always reach out to me and I would love to do a one-on-one session with you. If you also don't know, I have a membership site where you can get private classes or classes that are not available on here and that have no ads on them, and usually early access to all my YouTube classes. Anyway, I certainly hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope you had a great class. Cannot wait to see you again.